Before you can truly understand what the Bible means, you have to understand what it meant to the original audience. We often approach scripture with a 21st century mindset, asking, what does this mean to me? But this flips the entire process backward. A vital rule of Bible interpretation is this: you must take the modern believer back to the ancient world. When the writers of the Bible began writing, they had only one audience in mind, which was their immediate audience. None of them were thinking of you sitting here centuries later to read their work. The problem begins when you assume that the writers had you in mind when writing. I'm sorry to break your heart, but they didn't know you would exist in the first place. To truly grasp the text, we must adopt the cultural approach. This means stepping into the unfamiliar world of the ancient Near East. And when you step back, you realize something very crucial. The culture surrounding the biblical writers was, by modern standards, incredibly dark. Things that shock us today were simply normal life to them then. Let's take warfare for an example. Modern laws forbid torturing prisoners, but the kings of Assyria would proudly flay rulers alive and drape their skin over city walls as a terror tactic. This wasn't dark to them, it was standard operating procedure. Or take slavery for another example. The fact is that owning another human being, especially as debt repayment or war bounty, was a legal economic institution throughout the Near East. The concept of universal human rights simply did not exist back then. Because by acknowledging this dark historical baseline, you stop judging the Bible by your own 21st century moral code. Not knowing all these things would make people end up saying, why does the Bible support these things? The Bible does not support those things. Rather, the Bible described those things. The Bible did not prescribe those things as a means of practice. A careful study would even make you realize that the Bible modified some of the dark practices. One of the reasons we should read the Bible with this viewpoint is, by establishing the dark baseline of the ancient Near Eastern times, one can better see how the biblical text sometimes moderated or reformed the worst practices of the day. For instance, while it didn't abolish slavery, the Mosaic law placed limits on its duration, required humane treatment, and mandated the release of Hebrew slaves in the 7th year. This was a significant ethical reform compared to surrounding cultures. Always ask first, what did this text mean to the people living in the brutal ancient Near Eastern times? Then and only then can you understand this profound meaning and application for you.